In this episode, Kurt Thomas, that's me, I'm going to bring you some fun film facts.
Fun film facts.
And when you hear this noise, you know a fun film fact is coming. Live in the dungeon, this is the Dream Warrior Review. I'm Kurt Thomas.
I'm Mick Strawn. I think that we have a big difference of opinion here.
Okay, we saw one of the best movies of all time called Halloween. It was 1978.
God.
John Carpenter, the master. And
yeah.
It's about 15 years after murdering his sister on Halloween night in 1963. Michael Myers escapes from a mental hospital and returns to the small town of Haddonfield to kill again. And I have about 30 points on here that I pulled out that I found really interesting.
I can't believe
this
that
is a
you
classic.
even
I actually like this more than any Nightmare on Elm Street movie.
Oh my
I hate
God,
to say
you're kidding me.
And it's probably because I grew up watching the Halloween movies first.
This was like watching paint dry for me.
Oh, it was good.
This is the most overrated piece of crap I've ever seen in my life.
No, the score is awesome. The acting is awesome. The fact that they didn't really show Michael Myers hardly ever, I'll get to that. That's in here. So anyway, I have a regular DVD. But I pulled out my Blu-ray last night, and it has these quick facts that pop up every few minutes.
Right? Okay.
So I wrote those down. And then I found some additional ones.
This is going to be your review then.
Amazing. Because I love this movie.
Oh, God. What do you love about it?
Everything.
I like a lot of things about this. Well, okay, first of all, it's one of the best soundtracks ever. I mean, The Exorcist is pretty good too, but this is probably one of my favorite soundtracks for a horror movie. And the interesting thing...
The soundtrack wasn't bad.
I have some facts about the music.
Yeah, well...
if I can find it.
He wrote it... He and his brother wrote it together, right? Music?
John Carpenter wrote the movie score, the entire score, in 3 days by himself.
Okay.
Or maybe it was him and his buddies. They put it together. But he wrote in 3 minutes.
Right.
I mean, 3 minutes.
3 minutes.
3 days.
3 minutes.
3 days.
3 minutes.
Which is
is
3 minutes in some...
I'm going to go with 3 minutes.
Well, if you're on a different planet, maybe 3 minutes is 3 days.
Okay,
I mean,
possible.
Anyway. It's written in a 5/4 signature, which is very rare. Nobody really uses that time signature,
right? No, that's
which
right.
I found fascinating myself. Anyway, and the reason why there's a musical score that he composed in 3 days was because there was a female critic that was very negative about it, saying that it wasn't scary because there was no music.
Oh,
so he actually went and wrote music for it.
Oh, there you go.
And he wrote music for 14 of the 17 movies he directed.
Wow.
Yeah, see? I'm a fan of his.
Okay.
If you can't tell.
I can tell.
In the script, they actually John Carpenter refers to Michael Myers as...
The Shape?
The Shape. He called it The Shape in the script.
Okay.
And the reason why is because he wanted The Shape to be the classic boogeyman, which is a blank slate.
There is a line in there that the kid uses that he keeps seeing the boogeyman.
Yep. And so they wanted audiences to project their fears on him. So basically, this is what I liked about this movie, because I saw this, well, first time I saw it was back in...
here's the thing.
What was it?
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
I'm only afraid of dogs. And because of that, I have no fears to put on to the film, and therefore the film bored me silly.
He could be a dog in a suit.
Cujo was terrifying in that respect. So that was enough for me.
No, I like that. It's the killer. You don't see his face. You don't even hardly see his mask, actually.
Hardly, yeah.
Which his mask was actually... You ready for this this little information? Are you ready?
Bill Shatner.
It was a used mask they bought for $2.
Right.
1966 William Shatner mask.
William Shatner mask.
I just thought I didn't I always thought that was fun, a little trivia, which actually I knew that before.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, I mean that's
and the funny thing is, well, he didn't realize it till later, but Anyway, my point is, I just like the whole. See, I just think he does a better job of stalking, and they don't show him very much. They show maybe his shoulder one time. They show a shadow go by of him. They don't show him as much in this movie as the following Halloween movies. Okay. So I like the fact that you don't really see him. To me, it had very 70s editing, and well, it was a 70s movie.
Well, this is true. But I mean, they say, like for instance, they say now that Bullet has always been one of the classic car chases, right? Yeah. But if you go back and look at Bullet now, as far as a car chase goes, it's very unsophisticated and the editing is very long. And that was the thing. And here's been my problem, and probably why I don't like this.
Have you been ruined by current movies?
No, I haven't. I was ruined from the beginning. You have to have the attention
span of a gnat to watch it.
I have always, I swear, I have always thought that I could take 20 minutes out of absolutely any film. I mean, this is something that I have thought since I was in high school. You know, and by the way, this is a big thing these days. People re-editing films, right? You know, it is a big fan thing, right. And I could get into it seriously. I mean, I would never waste my time doing that. I'm 61 and I'm going to die before too long, and I ain't going down that rabbit hole. But in general,
I wouldn't touch this movie.
I could take so much out of this film. I mean, really. Oh,
and this
my gosh.
Actually, a lot of stuff that I liked was the rock music used. Like, there was only really one song used, but it was Blue Oyster Cult's "Don't Fear the Reaper."
Right.
When they were in the car smoking.
Right. Yeah,
I
that's
think
a
lot
great
of
song.
stuff that people like about Nightmare on Elm Street was in this movie. That's what I think is interesting, is that people give Nightmare on Elm Street credit for things that were done in Halloween.
Yeah, but I think that you also would remember that I wasn't as big a fan of Nightmare on Elm Street as everybody else.
I know.
Either.
I know what you mean, but I like all the movies. I mean, I don't mind Friday the 13th. I like Friday the 13th. I like Leatherface. I like all those movies.
You know, I've never seen Friday the 13th.
But my favorite one, which we have to see at some point.
Yeah, we have to see it,
especially because you've actually worked on a fan film, right?
And I'm going to be the first AD on one of them here pretty soon. Yeah, there you go.
See, there you go. So you have to have a little bit of background.
It's going to have. It's actually going to have. This is vengeance. This is. I'm going to throw a little ad here. This is warning. This is an ad.
That was a nice segue. I like that.
That was. There is a film that we're going to be filming in around February, I believe. It's going to be created by Brown Space Films. C.J. Graham.
Yeah.
The original is going to be the father of Jason.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a new Friday the 13th. Cool. And there's going to be a trailer coming out here in days.
So it's like a prequel.
Days. This isn't a prequel. We're going to see C.J. Graham as the father. Okay. You know, playing the father, with the mask on. So
I got you.
And it's got an amazing cast with it so far. It's becoming bigger and bigger and bigger, and you know, for a fan film, it's a big deal. So that's going to be called Friday the 13th. Vengeance.
I don't know how you made that echo.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? I did that with just my mouth and my tongue.
So I guess some things I like about this movie, I forget. See, I have to remember what decade that I act like I'm in the 70s, I guess, because Donald Pleasance is awesome.
Well, you drive a car that
Jamie Lee Curtis
takes a lot of gas to go and doesn't stop very well.
That little yellow thing, BMW. And then Donald Pleasance.
I did like his BMW though.
Yeah,
that was nice.
Jamie Lee Curtis. I mean, this was her first movie, her first feature movie.
Yeah,
and she was in Charlie's Angels and Petticoat Junction.
Yeah.
That was all she was known for before that.
Yeah.
And what a Donald Pleasance. I think at the time he was like Fantastic Voyage and.
He was like the doctor.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, that was his role.
That was his role.
Yeah. And that's funny, kind of what he played here. So, you know,
right, exactly.
It's just funny that.
And budget was amazing because it was only $300,000.
No, so they didn't do anything.
And they paid him $20,000 to work for 5 days. And they paid Jamie Lee Curtis $8,000. So basically, more than half the budget was spent on the cameras they rented. which I thought was amazing. I was
Yeah,
like,
no, that's-
and it grossed $47 million.
That's pretty common.
And there's
back
been like
then.
9 films since then. But I do have issue with, even though I love Rob Zombie and I like Night of a
Yes.
Thousand Corpses is
Yes.
one of my
Right.
faves, I think.
It is.
Um,
And we have to examine Rob
kinda
Zombie's
ruined-
work here in the
he
future.
kind of ruined some of the Halloween movies because he did remakes of. In
Didn't he
2000s.
do the second?
He did Halloween remake in 2007, and then he did like a Halloween 2 later on, I think in 2009.
Yeah.
But I think he kind of. I didn't see the second one, but the first one I was kind of disappointed in it.
Yeah,
I mean-
I've you know what? I've only heard things about them. I like I say personally, just this did not do it for me, not at all. Never grabbed my.
See, this has everything I
Wiki
like
with
about
wacky.
horror. Because I could deal with the pacing and the fact there was a long gap before anybody died again.
Right.
Like, there's just kind of a long gap.
Yeah, but you know what? The
But I
thing
like the
is,
breathing and how creepy he was. Like, there was one shot where she was standing up and he was showing kind of, you can see his face in the doorway, like very faintly.
right,
And he kind of comes out behind her. See,
right.
it was very quiet too. That's the other thing.
Yeah, it went on forever.
There was one scene where there was no sound. And that was anyway. So I think this was great. I love this movie.
I would rather watch a cat sleep.
I do. I mean, there are questions I have, like why would you walk towards a bush when there's a creepy guy standing there? And
You see, and
Yeah.
you've got a list. You've got a list of notes that is pages and pages long.
Yeah, see, I took my
I've
own
got
notes.
3 items.
yeah. And so what's crazy about this though is it seems like a regular guy.
Like I've got 3 items, and one of them is that girl gonna overdose on Bianca? And 70s cars are intrinsically creepy looking.
They are.
They are, aren't they?
Yeah, totally.
And then I don't even know what the other thing is here that I wrote. Oh, there you go.
Well, I thought this movie is a classic. I think I would never touch it with any kind of editing equipment or anything like that. I would leave it the way it is.
That'd still take 20 minutes out.
But see, I think you have to just say, okay, I'm going to accept the fact this is a slow moving movie. Like when I watched, this is a really bad example, but recently I watched Mother, and I like the first third of it was kind of like this. It was a little slow, and you're waiting for something to happen. They're slowly building up this something that's never happening. You know what I mean?
You and
But
I are going to have
this
to
was
agree to
10
disagree.
times better than Mother. I was just using it
10
back.
times?
Let me think of a better example.
10 times. Wait.
Well, if you go back to
wait,
any
hold.
any 80s
Wait,
movie,
wait.
70s or 80s.
No, I'm doing my math here. 10 times nothing is.
that was a
10
bad example.
No, that's nothing. Yeah.
So, but no, even The Exorcist. If you watch it now, it's like it seems kind of slow compared to a lot of the current movies, the current
Yeah.
horror movies. Which
I
can
agree.
accept that.
Never particularly liked The Exorcist.
But The Exorcist
either.
is another one I love.
Check out The
this is
Omen.
Great.
The Omen was,
The Omen was a great one too.
The Omen to me was much more interesting and more terrifying than
And that has
Exorcist.
moments that are
But-
slower.
and
But don't you have to have slower moments to make the violent moments more exciting?
yeah, but you need to have it's every 10 minutes. And these
well-
days it's every 5 minutes.
I think that formula started in the 80s. So I think a lot of the 70s movies, like I like Repulsion. I don't know, I'm thinking of a lot of older movies that maybe some of the haunted house movies and stuff like that. There's a lot of space in between,
Yeah, no, I agree.
so things change over time. Obviously,
and for that nostalgia, I will give 50s and 40s, spooky house movies.
Mhm.
I'm going to give them a lot of leeway for that, and a lot of that is gorgeous camera work.
Mhm. There's some good camera work in this one.
Amazing subtext and so forth.
Did you like the fake?
But none of that applies for this.
Did you like the fake shot the fake one shot that was really long and
Yeah.
it really wasn't one shot? It
I
was
know.
like
It was a million shots. I'm just totally unimpressed. I mean,
for a movie that was shot in 21 days. This is pretty awesome.
Oh, now there's a caveat. Oh, it was shot on 21 days. Oh, well.
No.
I don't even know what the hell I was thinking.
Even if they spent a year on this, I would still love it. I mean, I give this is one of my tops. This is like probably my top 3 horror movies for sure. And then this is one that I watch every year.
Okay, well, this is going to
I
be
watch it
really.
every year.
This is going every year.
And what's creepy
you would
about
watch this every year?
I'll go and watch 2, 3, 4. I'll go watch all of them, but like for some reason,
This is nowhere near as
I'm
good
like
as
the only
Galaxy
weirdo.
Quest, even.
I'm the only weirdo that likes. Apparently, there's maybe 2 other guys out there that like the third one. It's like Season of the Witch, which actually was directed by one of the guys that was on this movie.
Ah,
Yes.
I just didn't care. That's me. Am I the only one in the world who doesn't like Halloween?
So Tommy Wallace.
Yeah.
Tommy Wallace.
He
Nancy
did-
Loomis. This is an interesting story for you. So, Nancy Loomis was in the movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
She married the production designer that was
Really?
on Halloween, Tommy Lee Wallace, and he was a classmate of Carpenter at USC. And he worked with him on 5 movies, and he later directed Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, which is one of my favorites, which actually is an anti-Halloween movie because it doesn't really follow... Because Michael Myers died at the end of 2, at the second one. He
Gotcha.
died.
Mm-hmm.
So the third one didn't really have anything to do with Michael Myers.
Oh, Michael Myers didn't die in
And
this one?
the third one has an amazing score, too. You've got to listen to the music from 3. Okay.
Okay.
That's the one. Remember, I was singing part of the song for one of the... It was...
Happy, happy Halloween, 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 happy, happy Halloween.
Silver Shamrock.
Wow. Okay.
So where they were hypnotizing the kids.
I am absolutely just tolerating you. That is all I am doing here. I am waiting until your gums stop flapping.
Well, I have a lot more here.
Yeah, I'll bet you do.
And did you notice that, in the 2007 remake, they replaced Donald Pleasance with Malcolm McDowell, which I thought was weird, a weird move, but they're kind of similar in some ways.
Yeah, that's the same actor.
So I like Nick Castle, the guy that played Michael Myers.
Yeah.
And there's actually this cool picture I found of him online that I'll show right now on YouTube.
Okay.
But
Right
it's him
here?
drinking a Dr. Pepper with a mask on his head.
Oh yeah, I've seen that before.
It's a great
yeah,
picture.
I've seen that. Yeah.
But there's a second guy that played Michael Myers in this movie when they showed his face.
Oh yeah, that.
Tommy Moran, I think his name is.
They did show his face at one point.
Yeah, so that was a different actor. For some reason, they decided to use this other guy.
Why? See, what possible difference
Tommy
would that
Moran,
make?
I think his name was. That's the only one I didn't write down.
Well, there you go.
Of course I didn't write it down. But yeah, so Nick Castle is also his classmate from USC. And he played Alien in Carpenter's Dark Star and co-wrote Escape from New York. So they're all these buddies that work together. And he was also in, he directed The Last Starfighter. That was the movie he directed.
Oh, okay.
So anyway, what else do I have to say here?
That's a good
I feel
question.
like I'm
because
taking over this.
Well, this is yours. This one's yours.
Yeah, so there's another guy, cinematographer, Dean Cundy. He did 5 movies with Carpenter. Escape from New York is one of them. Which, and Big Trouble of Little China was the last one he worked with him on.
Nah, I love that one.
See, so I mean, look at The Fog. I mean, basically, it's a Carpenter's whole, all the movies he's done. Or maybe a couple I don't like, but for the most part, he was a great director.
Okay.
And I like how he approached this with Michael Myers, and I think they kind of lost their way after.
I think that a lot of his other work I like a lot better.
Yeah. Well, he stopped working on Halloween after the third one. That was his last one I think he worked on. But he got somebody else to direct it. So anyway, this is a classic.
Okay. So how do you rate?
Everybody
this
should at
classic?
least watch it.
How do you rate this classic? I did notice that the credits were incredibly short. It was. Yeah.
Well, it got. I mean, Jamie Lee Curtis her start, and it she was in The Fog after that, I think.
Okay. Now you're just.
I really like Jamie Lee Curtis for that reason. I don't know. I want to give this a really high rating, so I have to give it a 4.6.
Really?
Almost a 5.
You're gonna give this a 4.6.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it a 2.2. So this is going to be one of the first times that we have completely diverged. In fact, this has got to be the widest gap between you and I.
It is, totally.
Ever.
And the only reason is because it's paced too slow. Maybe you should have drank more coffee when you watched this one.
I swear I just did not get into it at all. And the thing is if you don't get into it, in this case, it's just a lot of waiting around. It's a lot of waiting around, for things to die that don't die.
I guess for me, I was kind of, as a younger lad, I might have been a little hot for Jamie Lee Curtis, so I was like, I was all over that.
There you go.
Those tight pants and the. Which, by the way, they all wore their own clothes because they couldn't afford any clothes for the budget.
Okay.
Oh, there's another funny one I found.
I've been on those before. Been on a lot of those.
Judith Myers was played by Sandy Johnson, who was a Playboy Playmate in 1974.
Ah.
There's this one of my favorite scenes. It's so funny because it's the sheriff being a total idiot. And he's like, when the place was all broken into.
Right.
And he's like, it's
Probably a bunch of kids. All they stole was some Halloween masks, some rope, and a couple knives.
It's like he didn't think about that, did he?
Yeah, no, not much.
There's one other one. The girl that Linda, the blonde girl.
Yeah.
She said totally 11 times during the movie.
Okay. You're done.
I'm done
Thank
reading
you. You're
these.
done. Thank you.
And do you know what's sad is there's actually more that are popping into my head, but I'm gonna let it go.
Please let this die.
But yeah, for me, if it wasn't for this, I agree with that critic. If the soundtrack wasn't there, I'd probably be giving this one a 3.
Well, there you go.
It would drop a little bit. So anyway, I can tell you had fun reviewing this one.
Yeah. No.
I was actually looking forward to this.
Oh, good.
I watched it twice. I have a DVD and I watched that. And
You
I said,
could have
why am I
watched
doing
this
I gotta
twice?
watch it on Blu-ray.
Really?
So I pulled my Blu-ray out and then I'm like, oh, they have this extra feature where I could like get little tips of.
Well, you see, now I'm really, really super curious about Friday the 13th.
That one I don't like as much as this one, but
we'll see.
that's just my opinion. So
We'll
you'll
see.
probably love it.
Yeah, you don't know. You don't know, right?
All right, I think we're dead. This one's dead.
I. By the way,
Which we
can
should
I
see.
just say
We're going to see the new one, right?
We are going to see the new one.
I got his commitment.
Can I just throw one thing in here? I thought Piranha was 10 times better than this film.
No. What did I give Piranha? I have to look at my spreadsheet.
I don't even.
I gotta look at the spreadsheet.
I really don't even care.
I gotta get my spreadsheet. I'm gonna make sure that all my numbers are absolutely correct.
No, actually, I'm gonna get an intern for that.
Okay.
I'm gonna think of all these different spreadsheets.
Yeah. Okay.
We need an intern.
This is so done.
People who want to get into film school, give us a call.
Okay, give us a call. If you live in County, come on by. We do have things that you can do, that's for sure. Okay, I'm Mick Strawn.
And I'm Kurt Thomas.
And we're done.
Yes. Thanks for joining us on the Dream Warrior Review podcast. Don't forget to tell your friends about us, follow us, and, of course, like us. We can be found on Podbean, which is an amazing app, YouTube, Stitcher, Alexa on any pod, iTunes, Google Play. We're on Twitter as well, at DW Review, and, of course, Facebook. You can find us there. You can also email us at dreamwarriorreview@gmail.com.